Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Orla Live for Tuesday, the 25th of March, 2025. Jesus, the month is nearly gone already, isn't it? It's my daughter's confirmation now on Friday, the 28th, and then what are we? It's the first on Monday, is it? Or Tuesday? Jesus Christ, man, the months are flying in, like, you know what I mean? And we're still no further than their nose. But yeah, party's going well, I have to say. Ireland first, we're all flying, we're all doing very well. Orla will be joining me here now in the next few minutes, I would say. And listen, we've a packed plate and show tonight here now to talk about as well. We'll be talking about far-right lies. And again, Nick Delahanty done a video today about Lowry sticking his two fingers up at somebody in the Dáil. Then we have I have another video there of a black girl on the Masai, M-A-S-A-I, the migrant thing, talking about pure blood DNA. And then I have another girl who is a beautiful girl. She's a lovely girl. I think her name is Maggie Diamond Eyes. I have a video of her as well. She spells it out to this black girl as well about this. So I'm going to bring Orla up there. And hello, my co-host. How are you?
Hi, Paul. I just thought you were talking about me there for a minute. No?
No. Wait to see this girl. She has gorgeous eyes. I don't know if you've seen her. She's on TikTok. Maggie Diamond Eyes. She's very good now, I have to say. She's from around here. She's from Blanchard. I think she's from Cardiff or somewhere.
Okay.
I was talking to a friend of mine on Sunday. I was at a party and he said it to me. He said, "Did you see the video of Maggie? I know her well." And so I'm gonna play her as well. I'm not gonna play her yet. We wait to get a few on there. And but I've a few videos there. I have a Garen Noon as well. Yeah, Garen, yeah. Turncoat. You know what I mean? He came out there and slagging the far
We said it. We said it. We called it last week. We said it.
Last week, yeah. When I'm never far wrong. We're never far wrong with stuff like this.
No, Paul, we're always far right.
Yeah, we're far right. Yeah. Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Paul and Orla. Evening,
hi, John.
folks. How are you, John?
Hi, Zero.
Yeah. Good evening.
Oh,
Orla.
hi, Michael. Yeah. Oh, never mind about Paul.
F you, Paul. How are you? Paul?
I'm the favourite.
Yeah, no one, Flower. Hi, peeps. Paul, Anthony, and Orla. I'll be honest with you, Anthony won't be doing this for a couple of weeks until we get the party sorted. Like, they're on Zooms every night. They're talking. Now, listen, I probably should be on the Zooms myself, but you know what I mean, because I'm on the AC as well there now. But listen, I'm sure the lads will let me know what's going on. You know what I mean? What's this? I'm cuddled up with my teddy bears. Fair play to you, Michael. John.
Good man, Michael.
And then I had earlier. Who was it that got on to me earlier? Do you have a pint of Guinness there ready? Oh, there it is. There, look, Paul. I have a Guinness in for tonight's show. Yeah, fair play to you. Yeah.
Where's my bombers?
Yeah. The musician Gerald McCarthy came out and wrecked the government. I seen it on Country Gains. I'll try and pull that down now in a while. Yeah, as well. I didn't see it.
I shared it yesterday, but it's about 8 minutes long. It's about his father. His father was very, very sick and went to the hospital in Limerick, and he wasn't well looked after, and he ended up passing away. Hi, Patrick. And so, yeah, he called out the government, and yeah, you know, fair play to him. And, you know, obviously it was tough to watch because his father had just died. But the video was about 8 minutes long, but that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Actually, sorry, the comments he was making was, how can some of these politicians be in the positions that they're in when they have no qualifications? Would say like the health minister and was it the education minister and things like that, when they their other qualifications are in something that's completely different. So he made some very valid points.
He did, yeah. I'm just going to go with Gavin. Right, Gavin done a video this evening.
Yes, with that lady and the children.
Yes, 5 young kids, all little
and girls. 9 years waiting, yes.
Jesus Christ. I'm just going to play this and we'll come back and talk to it.
Okay.
How are you, folks? Councillor Gavin Pepper here, right? And I'm sure you all watched the shambles in the Dáil today as Michael Lowry stuck his finger up at the public. That's the sort of nonsense we're getting out of them. But here I am in Hill Street, with Karen Tracy here, a mother of 5. This is real life. Karen has 5 children, 5 little girls, and she's in one room. And what's the name of the place? The name of the hostel? Townhouse. Now, I went to go in and do an interview and show you the room. You will see it below, but for reasons you're not allowed in with the family, which is fully understandable. But Karen's going to tell you how long she's on the list and her situation. So, Karen, how long are you on the housing list?
At least 9 years.
9 years. And what number are you?
5, 14 and 26 in 3 different areas.
On 3 different bands?
Yeah.
Right. Have you ever been offered anything?
No.
How long are you in townhouse?
At least a month.
And how do you find it?
Difficult. The kids going up and down the street all the time. The noise is on all hours of the night, you know what I mean?
And there's a lot of residents in the place.
A lot of residents, yeah. A lot of families. Not nice.
Now, as you can see, families shouldn't have to live in these conditions. Our country hasn't got the resources to help everybody in the whole world. We need to be helping our own people. Karen has 5 children and should be housed. This is no fault of our own. Karen, you were in a rented accommodation, weren't you?
Yeah, 3.5 years.
Were you on RAS or HAP? Homeless HAP.
Yeah.
And what happened?
The landlord selling up.
He was selling up. And he didn't want to do tenant in situ, did he?
No. He didn't do it. He just wanted to sell and that was it.
This is a system that we need to fix as soon as possible. This is the real problem that's going on in this country. This is a real family, real children that you're seeing here, and they need to be housed. And the government, with their carry on in the door today, need to wake up and start on acting like grown-ups and housing families like Karen. It's disgraceful that this family is left in this situation. This is Ireland 2025, and we've had enough of it. It's time to put the Irish people first.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? Seriously, now it really is ridiculous. Like, I have to say, it's in this day and age.
I still remember the time during the local elections. And for anyone who doesn't know, I would have ran in Carlow Town. And I'll never ever forget, hi guys, going to this particular house. It was a council estate, and I was speaking to this man, and he said to me, I was waiting 10 years on the waiting list. And he said, your man next door is Irish, and he was waiting 12 years. And your man next door was African, 6 months. So there you go.
Listen, I people will probably remember this now. I was on the local radio here when I ran in the locals. I think it's Phoenix FM, I think it is. It's in the shopping centre. And I was invited down to 7 of us, 7 that was running in it. There was none of the incumbents went down. They couldn't give a shit, like, you know what I mean? So there's myself. I was sitting next to the little fella, Aziz, whatever. A nice guy, Fine Gael. A very nice guy, I have to say. And but listen, they're Fine Gael, so you know what I mean. And we people before profit. We the sock dams. We this, that, and the other. And of course, they started off. Okay, what's the 3 main things you're hearing at the doors? You know what I mean? And of course, they started from left to right, and I was the start of it. So of course, I was the first one to come out. I said immigration. I said the school curriculum. I said and housing. I said there's 3 apartment blocks. There's 3 apartment blocks and something like 40 houses gone into Hansfield. I said, and not one Irish family has got them, right? And your man said, oh, I don't know whether that's true or not. I said, I'm telling you it's true. I said, I have somebody in the council who told me this. I said that nobody got them. I said, all going to foreign people. I said, Eastern Europeans. I said, Pakistanis. I said, Nigerians. And I think Venezuelans, North Americans, all got them down in Hansfield. Now, you want to see these. These are beautiful. But they shot me down straight away. I was stopped talking. They didn't ask me any more questions after that. But the sock dams and all that all tried to make me out to, you know, far right this, and this is all hearsay, and they're just ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we know what's going on. We can see it going on. And there's the likes of that lady there with 5 kids.
We saw it with our own eyes during elections, both elections. We saw it where, you know, you'd go into an estate, especially a council estate, and you'd come across a row of houses. And every house was either African or Indian. The estate that I live in here, there's a front row, and they're pretty much all Brazilian. And I'd say the estate I live in here, is probably 85% foreigners, and there's a mix between Polish, Brazilian, African, Indian. It's not a council estate that I live in, but it's like there's a lot of rented houses. But I'd say it's 85%, and the front row seems to be pretty much all Brazilian.
Well, we're the same. I live in a private estate as well, a gated estate, and I'd say 85% are foreign. Now, don't get me wrong. There's Polish people, Latvian people, Russian people, Nigerian people that have been here years. Like I'm here 20 years nearly, and they've been here as long as me. Like, you know what I mean? And they have blended into the community. They're friends of ours. We all have the crack. We used to go to barbecues together the whole lot, but since, of course, I became the leader of the far right, nobody invites me anywhere now. You know what I mean? Because
poor Paul.
well, hey, listen, because listen, I tell you how it is, Orla. I'm sorry. Listen, I am where I am. You know what I mean? And listen, I didn't just become far right apparently overnight or racist overnight. I've told this story umpteen times on the show. During the summer, every kid in this estate, no matter what their colour or creed or religion or nationality, comes to me to fix their bikes. Paul the racist, you know. And I'm not going to say this, I'm not racist, because I'm not going to apologise for this anymore. And I'm sick of it. And none of us should apologise for this anymore. We're here to stand up for our children and their country. And if you don't like it, the hell with you. I don't care. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, 9 out of 10 of the people who don't like it are either working for unions or NGOs, and they're told to say this. You know what I mean? They'll throw shite up at us, and what's this now, Paul? I've the barbecue. I'll have a point or barbecue with you. Yeah, we will, shall I play? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, fair play to you, thanks. But honestly, like, my neighbours just stopped talking to me. Really, I'm not messing. And it's all bullshit. You know what I mean? Saying he's this, he's that, he's a father. Fash Ferg, they were calling me in here for a while. That's how I was like, I'm on off Fair City. Do you remember Fash Ferg? Like, how
I've never watched Fair City.
Yeah, listen, I don't watch it either, but I seen them. I used to get the tweets sent to me, and look, Fash Ferg, but even in here they were calling me Fash Ferg, like, you know what I mean? What's this? Yes, there are people that blend and they're okay. They want work. Listen,
that's true, Finola.
I'd say I think I got something like 518 votes, first preference up here. A lot of them were probably friends of mine. But I'd say a lot of them were the foreign guys that live and the women that live in here, because they can see it happening as well. You know what I mean? They have to rear their kids. They're worried about their kids walking the streets as well. Like, you know what I mean? And I called for this, I think it was last year. I used to walk around a couple of the estates, you know, just that night, just to make sure everything on my own. It was just a walk, you know what I mean? But I was watching what was going on, and, you know, if there was drugs being sold or whatever else like that. There's nothing really you can do about the drugs. Let's be honest about it. Like, you know what I mean? They're Irish people doing that, you know what I mean? And listen, you go up against them people, you know what I mean? You need a big enough army with you, like, you know what I mean, to be doing that. Like, you know what I mean? You can tell them to get out of the estate, you can tell them to do this, you can tell, but the next day they're back. You know what I mean? Like, they're selling drugs openly all around Blanchardstown and Dublin 15. And listen, Castleknock and the whole lot, they're not immune to it either. Like, it's happening down there too. You know what I mean? Hang on there. I'm all right with law-abiding Europeans in Ireland. However, I do not want Africans and our Muslims. Okay, yeah, I get the Muslim thing. I really do, because I drove out today. I'm not messing. I drove out on my estate today. And as soon as I turned the corner, there was 2 women with the head things on. I thought, Jesus Christ. I got 200 yards up the road, and there was 2 more pushing buggies. They got around to the kids' school, and there was 3 of them pushing buggies. I thought, holy Jesus, holy God, where are these people all coming from? And they're all walking into Hansfield Estate, where I just spoke about a few minutes ago. You know what I mean? And someone just posted there, the Gardaí are the biggest drug dealers going. Well, they are. Should we all seen what happened with, what was his name? John Murphy, Spud Murphy, caught with 600 grand worth of hash and weed in his house. Like, it was hidden in walls and everything. You know what I mean? And I think he got 6.5 years for it. The same man got 6.5 years and was let out on temporary leave for an AM to PM, and went back drunk and got sent back to back to whatever he was supposed to go. It beggars belief. Like,
but we saw it as well during elections. I did not meet so much as one single Polish person at the door that wasn't absolutely livid about what was going on. And I mean livid. I met people from Belgium, I met Latvian, I met from Holland, mostly, as I said, was Polish, and they were all livid. I remember meeting one man in Castlecomer in Kilkenny one day, and oh my God, he was going absolutely ballistic. But you see, you have to remember, they're white and they're Christian.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they know exactly what's going on. You know, they're fully awake to it. And the only problem with them was during the general elections, a lot of them, especially the Polish, had not got their citizenship. So they could not physically go out and vote. And there was the problem.
We're hitting 400 there already. We're only 15 minutes on. Fair play, everyone. Fair play to you. Keep sharing it out there. And I just want to text in.
Finoli, you go up to Dublin. Like, I remember the last time I was up at the protest in was it July? We went up to the Garden of Remembrance. And we're walking down O'Connell Street, and there was Romanians begging on the street. There was like a couple of them one side, then the other side there was another couple. Then you'd walk a few more feet down, and again like that, one side, the other side. Like you were just surrounded by them. Like, why are they allowed beg on the streets?
Somebody just put in there as well. Roma gypsies are in that bracket as well. They are.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, we had Romas living in the estate here, and all they did was cause trouble. And they were living in a 2-bed apartment down there, and there was, Jesus, I think there was 8 of them in it. But when I say 8 of them, there was, say, 4 smallies, a teenager, and then probably 2 20-somethings. But the 2 20-somethings had girlfriends then that had kids as well. All they do, they're baby-making machines. That's all they are. They don't work. They never work. I haven't seen one Roma. I actually did. Sorry, I'll tell a lie. I did see a Roma working a couple of months ago, and he was actually caught robbing. You've probably seen the video yourself up in Hartstown, up in Hollystown. Robbing, delivered to somebody's door through Amazon, and he went back and took the box of stuff. And your man came out and caught him. There was murder. He was a Roma, but he's the only one that I seen that worked. But there's a house around the corner here as well, a 4-bedroom where my friend lives, and there's 4 or 5 of them in there as well. But you look at the benefits they're getting. Like, I think I told this a couple of weeks ago. I was getting my social welfare down in the post office there a few weeks ago, and the fella next to me, 825 quid or 925 quid he collected. Now this guy was only about 30 if he was even that, so he must have about 5 or 6 kids. You know what I mean? And whatever he gets on the social welfare and he claims for them, sure, why would they work? There's no need for them to work. And then they have them out begging. And there was an old guy across the street. We used to see him leaving here every morning, didn't know where he was going. And I thought he was a great old walker. He used to head out here at 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock, and he'd head off. And then I found out, I actually pulled out going to work one more. I was actually in work at the time, so it was more than 2 years ago. And I headed out here, and I seen him driving around the different estates, picking up the Roma women and bringing them begging. That's what he was doing. That was his job. He brought them around, collect the mats, and bring them all begging all around the country or all around Dublin. So it's, you stop the benefits, don't let them in. Stop the benefits, and
you stop the benefits, they won't be coming in. Simple as that.
Poland has the right idea about this immigration. Yes, it has. But you see what happened with Poland. Poland had the safest border in the EU until COVID. And then they had to open their borders because of COVID. Do you remember? They had to let these people in and this, that, and the other COVID. And so, yeah, Castlecomer, that's exactly it, Orla. Yeah, Castlecomer has been ruined. Listen, every little town has been ruined. I reckon drugs are taking over this country and drink is going the opposite direction. Yeah, sure, everywhere you go. Like, honestly, yeah, I've been to weddings recently in the whole lot, and like, before people are having the dinner, they're out sniffing cocaine. And I mean everyone. Like, it's not just a handful of people. Like, it's nearly everybody that's there, and they're all walking around. None of them eating their dinner. You know what I mean? But I've seen it with my own eyes. You know what I mean? It's people that you wouldn't even think. You know what I mean? And all the kids now can get it. The young fellas are, as soon as they head out in the evening time, boom, that's it. They're on it. You know what I mean? And they're up for 2 and 3 days then. You know what I mean? It's crazy. They are all from Christian nations. And that is a critical. Yeah, it is. Yeah. The Muslim nations are not going to the rest. I'm all right with Europeans. The rest. Yeah, I'm the same. Horrible, yes. We Irish abroad are still denied the vote.
Yeah, I know,
Yes.
Michael.
And we were actually on a space last night, and we were talking to people about them coming home to vote. You know what I mean? Like, and like we were one girl was on, she was talking to us, she was from Boston. But you know, Boston Irish, you know what I mean? She grew up with an Irish family. She did, yeah, it was great. And they said that we need to get them home to vote. That's the only way any of us will get in. You know, that sort of way. The Polish knew well because they pulled the same scam on us. Listen, I know a lot of Polish people. They've all come here. They've all worked. You know, they're all good people. They're all raising their kids. And I understand people get thick about it and say, oh, well, they're to blame as well. Listen, they're contributing. They're at the buying houses in here. They're at the buying houses in other estates. You know what I mean? They're not sponging. They're not looking for houses off anyone here. You know what I mean? They're not taking houses off Irish people. You know what I mean? And then we have our kids heading off to Australia and everything else. You know, they're bringing in the shit workers, the low IQ workers, and they're getting rid of the top kids. You know what I mean? It's all a plan. It's all a plan. I tell you what I'm going to do. Someone's messing behind me here. So, yeah, I just... Oh, you know the story. Yeah. Let me just... I'm going to just go with... I'll tell you, I'm going to go with this black woman, okay? She's talking about pure blood DNA, that we haven't got pure blood DNA. The white people of Ireland haven't got DNA. We're probably from different countries. And listen, my ma's English, my dad's Irish, and my dad is, you know, Irish true and true. You know what I mean? I'm Irish true and true. And there's nothing any of these idiots will say that'll take it away. So I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to come back and talk, and then I'm going to play Maggie Diamond Eyes, because she is, I have to say, she's on the money, you know? I'll go with this.
I'll go back to what I said again. I think there's this whole idea of this whole pure bloodline thing, you know, Ireland is for the Irish. Let me first start. How do you actually know you're completely Irish? A lot of Irish people in Ireland who are born and raised here are probably even British, or, you know, any other kind of white nationality you could think of in there. But if you get your DNA test, some Irish people who have an Irish surname, have an Irish background, aren't fully Irish, if we're talking about this whole Ireland belongs to the Irish thing. Another thing I would like to say is, let's talk about, for example, you know, America. America did not belong to Americans. It belonged to the natives, you know, the indigenous. But all of a sudden now, you know, when you go to America and you see, like, you know, white people there, they are Americans. That's their nation, that's their home. So let's bring it back to Ireland. You know, you guys have to think about it this way. This whole bloodline thing, that I'm not sure where this is coming from, where you want your generations and your bloodline to be pure and it belongs to the Irish. There probably isn't such thing as an Irish person, but biologically speaking, you know, because a lot of you guys will have a lot of different things mixed into your blood. And the third thing I want to say is, when the Irish people left to go to Africa, we didn't tell them that Nigeria belongs to the Nigerians. We never said that. You know, like when the Irish people emigrated to Australia, Australia didn't say Australia belongs to the Australians. You know, this thing of our bloodline being pure and Irish, this is for Irish people only. No. It's incorrect, it's wrong, and I'm going to have to say that. And if you look at even a white person who is not Irish, they're born in Britain, they're raised in Britain, like they come to Ireland, they are treated like an Irish person. So it's not about Ireland belonging to the Irish. It is literally just racism, point blank. You know, you see my skin tone, I'm not Irish. But if you see a white person, I have friends who are from Britain that live here, and, you know, they would be considered more Irish to me because they're white. So let's drop this whole thing about Ireland belonging to the Irish. I don't believe that's a thing. I think this is something people need to unlearn now. You know, our bloodline is Irish. Go and check your DNA history and see if that's even true before you start spitting those facts. You get what I'm saying? I hope that's not rude or anything, but, you know, I'm a very blunt person when it comes to these kind of things. But the last thing I would like to say is, when you look at this history of Irish people 100 years down the line, people from all different kinds of nations, you won't even be able to trace their bloodline to it being Irish or not. All of a sudden, we're going to just be considered Irish. Because Ireland is so young, we're in this mindset that this whole brown skin or different skin being on our turf, which is a predominantly white nation, doesn't make sense. And that's fine. You know what? That's fine. But like, this is something that's going to have to be unlearned. You know, Project Pierce, I don't know how long that was, but Why did Chris was in a nation where they were just full of white people? But how did he know Irish people were actually, present in front of him? I'm gonna stop rambling because I'm just getting a bit like I'm getting riled up. But you know what I mean. That would be my response to that statement. Let's drop that. So yeah.
Yes, I need. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I rest my case. Low IQ.
Jesus Christ upon
Low
mighty.
IQ.
Did you ever hear such utter nonsense?
Like, my name is Fitzsimons, and we fought the Vikings. As your man just said, we fought the Vikings. We fought the Brits. We're Irish. Like, my name is Fitzsimons. That's son of Simon. You know what I mean? And I think years ago, what happened, the way it happened was the Fitz. I think it's actually bastard son of Simon, Fitzsimons. I think that's what it is. Like, you know what I mean? But like, I can trace back my ancestry for hundreds of years. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And what you said there was when Irish people went to Nigeria, we didn't say Nigeria was for the Nigeria was for the Nigerians, because you have one of the biggest continents in the world. You wouldn't see 10,000 Irish people in Nigeria, in Africa. You know what I mean? So she's full of shit.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable. Well, I can tell you, my surname is Donohoe.
Yeah.
And I don't know how far my generations go back, but they are all Irish. Parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents. It goes way back and way back and way back. Plus, I have 100% proof. Hold on a minute. Let's get over. See this? See? Hold on. See that white?
Yeah.
That's 100% Irish. That's 100% carbon blood.
Somebody just posted
that's
that.
how you know you're Irish.
Paul is definitely a Brit. I'm not. My ma is British. My ma is English. My ma is from Birmingham, but my dad is from East Wall. His father was from East Wall. They were all from the diamond and the buildings in town. Like, we are. Listen, my blood is green, and that's just the way it goes. You know what I mean? Fitz is Norman ancestry. Yes, it is. Yeah, Fitz. Yeah, bastard son of Norman. Yeah, it is Norman ancestry. But how long ago was that, lads? You know what I mean? So, saw this yesterday, and I'm still raging. What the does she think she is?
But it's just, you know what I mean? It's such, we have no problem in saying, France is for the French, Italy is for the Italians, Germany is for the Germans. And I have no problem saying Africa is for the Africans. So Ireland is for the Irish. And if you don't like it, back off.
If I go to Japan tomorrow, just say 30 years ago, I was younger and I was going to have kids, and I went to China or Japan, and with an Irish woman, and I had kids, my kids wouldn't be Chinese. They'd be born in Chinese. They'd be Chinese citizens, but they wouldn't be Chinese. Like, the kids in the schools wouldn't be saying, "Oh, there's Paul, the Chinese. There's Paul jumping at the Chinese thing." No, he's not. There's Paul's son, the Irish Yumfley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vikings and Normans were 1,000 years ago. Plus, they were all Northern and Western Europe. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, the Vikings were big blondie guys.
They were white.
She should say that to a Chinaman. Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Come on. Okay, I have a friend who has a daughter. He's married to a Chinese lady, and like, the child is Irish. You know what I mean? I think once you have one parent, you know what I mean? But if your two parents are, was your mum a peaky blinder?
Oh, you never know.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
You had the cap on there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I had, yeah. And the only reason I haven't got it on tonight is I got my hair cut. And yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have the confirmation on
on Friday. When is it? Thursday.
What's Owen saying? Celtic Wales, Germany, Scotland, France. We are all connected through our Celtic bloodline. This is fact, and DNA on ancestry.com. That black woman is talking shite.
Yeah,
I agree.
They're just there to cause trouble. That's all they're there for. Like,
yeah.
What's this other video?
If you want. On this other video, this is Maggie, right? So I love this girl. I swear to God, I don't love her in a loving way. I just love the way she talks. She's so passionate, and she tells it how it is. You know what I mean? This is God's country. Now I think she's a bit holy. And listen, we all believe in God.
I know her.
Yeah, have a listen to this. Now it's about 5 minutes long, but she tells it how it is.
Jesus is the truth, the way, and the life. And all glory goes to him each and every single day. And thank you, Lord Jesus, for giving me the breath to wake up this morning and just experience another day. Try to do right. And just try to do right and be a good person. So all glory to you, Lord Jesus. So I just wanted to do this video because I was just pottering around the house, doing a bit of cleaning up. And I was watching the old videos as I normally do. And I came across this ferocious video of this young African woman, speaking about Ireland and, obviously the Irish people and our heritage and our background. And basically what she was saying was that the Irish people, in order to call themselves native, we have to do a DNA, to see what our DNA comes up as and what really is our lineage, And what I would like to say to that individual is, it's not our fault, us natives, that you have a confused spirit attached onto you. We know what we are. And just because you're after being indoctrinated, right, more or less by a communist, Marxist teacher, and now you think you have the right to sit there and make a video and basically try to erase us as a people. So it's okay to be an African and celebrate your African lineage and your heritage, but for some reason, us Irish can't do it. What have we done to Africa? What have we done to Africans? It's evil and it's completely and utterly demonic what you're saying and what you're doing. And it's not going to work. Do you understand? Because I'm going to tell you something for nothing. Only 30 years ago, 30 years ago in Dublin, when I was growing up and running around the streets of Finglas, there was no Africans. There was no Romanian gypsies. If you asked us when we were playing out on our road where a Pakistani was, we'd look at you crooked. We had no idea. Because all around us was just native indigenous Irish people. Because guess what, love? This is our country. This is our land. And as I said before, our blood is connected to this country. That's not our fault. You're going to have to take that up with the big man, Jesus Christ. You're going to have to get down on your hands and knees and pray and ask him why he made us like this. It's not our fault that we are predominantly a white nation. That's what he made us like. And because you have that spirit of confusion on you, you're projecting that out to us as if it's a bad thing for us being native. Don't go there, okay? Don't go there. You were born here, but you're an African woman that was born in Ireland, and that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. You can call yourself an Irish African woman, that's completely fine, but you're not native. You're not native to this land. And let me tell you something, okay? If you cut me up and cut you up, your DNA is bringing you all the way back to the motherland of Africa, where your parents left. And I'm going to be right here in Orla, That's the difference. And there's nothing wrong with it, but that's just the difference. And you and no other little communist that's coming out of your colleges are going to change that. You're not ever going to take that away from us, okay? And you are the one that's being racist. You are the one that's projecting a serious anti-Irish narrative. And you know what? Me and other natives, we're going to be here to debunk that, okay? Because Orla is our country. This is our land. And it's never going to be taken away from us. Ever. And I urge the Irish people, don't be dismayed. Don't lose hope. Because remember, guys, we were always just a tiny little babby of a nation. Just a small little babby in the Atlantic Ocean. And the British Empire was massive. And they still couldn't break the spirit of the Irish people. Okay? And just because we're surrounded in every single corner, in every single village, in every single county by all these plantations that are here to replace us, they're never going to break us. I can promise you that. They're not going to take this country from us, no matter how many of them there is in here. They're never going to do it. Because this is God's country. You see? And you can't break something that's from the Creator. So all glory to God. Erin Gabra, Jesus is King. Hallelujah!
I
People
know her
are
now.
saying, do you know her? She's
Well,
lovely.
I've
She
only just
is
seen her.
lovely.
Yeah, she must have came across my feed on TikTok the last couple of days. But yeah, so where's she from? Binglas.
I think she lives around here somewhere in Blanchardstown. I think because a friend of mine, as I said, I was at a birthday party on Sunday, and he said, "Have you seen Maggie's thing?" I said, "Who's that? The good-looking girl?" I said, "With the lovely eyes." She said, "That's her, yeah." But hang on, I just put this up here. Ken, what did he put up there? I'm gay, but this lady is stunning and classy.
Good
She
man,
is
Michael.
brilliant. Hopefully she'll join Ireland first. Well, listen, Maggie, if you're listening, I'm going to just put the banner up there. If you're listening there, give us a call there on the number 0892031521, and you can come on and have a chat here now and tell us exactly how you feel, because I have to say I'd listen to her all day. She is a lovely woman, and listen, and there's another video, she had a little young one in it as well today. The little one was, I seen that one today, but that is just an amazing, we
Well,
need
it's
her in the call.
amazing. Do you know what I mean? The utter nonsense we have to listen to. Do you know, from these people? You know, and what is the thing now? What is it we suffer with? Oh yes, white privilege.
Yeah, Fitzsimons is a Norman name. The only Irish with a Fitz is Fitzpatrick. The Normans are descended from Vikings. Yeah,
Which is still white people.
that's the two gay Irish fellas, isn't it? Michael Fitzmaurice and Morris Fitzmike, or Patrick Fitzmaurice and Morris Fitzpatrick. Yeah, I think most Irish are Norman, English, French. Yes, Peter, she's spot on. Yeah. John 14:2, our father's house has many rooms. Go back to your own country, sort your own crap out. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could pull a random from Europe and they would say it's more like that than that black girl. Yeah. Actually, that black girl was speaking at not a rally. Do you remember last year? Was it last year or the year before? Kitty Holland done the hip piece and said that the lads from Finglas went in and threw out the lads that was on the canal. They had a rally. Ruth Coppinger had a rally, and she spoke at the rally. I think she was only a student at the time, and she got a rouse, and that's why she's doing this now. She's part of this Maasai shite or whatever now. You know what I mean? Civic nationalism won't save our precious race of Irish people. Listen, I'd like to get Maggie on board with us. I would, because she has fire in her belly and she knows her stuff. She's an Irish woman through and through, But stop, she's a force to be reckoned to. Yes, she is. Stop, that's a Kerry accent. She has. That's a Dublin accent, and what a good Dublin accent it is. Yeah, brilliant potential. She has brilliant potential, and I'd like her to reach out to us. I really would. I really would. What have you got there? There's just loads coming in here. Is that African woman living in Ireland in that video? Yes, she is. Yeah, she goes to college here or something like that. Patrick Fitzsimon and Simon Fitzpatrick, they're the two gay Irish fellas, yeah. Content creators do more damage to the establishment than any nationalist movement. You should stay away from politics. Okay, fair enough, whatever you think yourself. But we do need good people here, you know what I mean? And why would you say that, Rommel? Why would you say that? Like there's Garen Noon, content creator. He's doing more bleeding damage now to us, you know what I mean? I don't agree with Noon at all. What he said, and then he backtracked on it. You know what I mean? And took down his own. He took down his own pages. He wasn't taken down. He took them down himself until this all blew over. And I'll guarantee you, I could guarantee you, he'll be on the Late Late Show next week or the week after, talking to Guilty about how the far right came after him and this, that, and the other. And it wasn't the far right at all. It was the lefties. And it was Cannon. I think Cannon.
Yes, I was going to say that came after him as well. Yes.
Yeah. Paul, Orla, you should try get someone from the Burke family on here. High Court ordered the Bank of Ireland to take. Yes, I know all about it. I did ask Ferg, because Ferg has a direct line to them, and I asked Ferg, and he said the Burkes are too private, that they just won't do it. You know what I mean? So listen, you have to.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you have to. The Normans were Vikings who started Normandy from France. Yeah. She is everything that the traders are not. Exactly. Now you have it. the patriotic cause definitely needs someone with that passion. Yes, I agree with you. And there's nobody texting in. But if you want to text in, there it is on the bottom there, people. 089 203 1521. Speaking of Garen Noon,
we're going to play those videos. And then I sent you the screenshot about a little contradiction that he said about Dublin.
I have that there, yeah. I'll play that now in a minute. I'll show that in a minute. But let's do this one first.
And saying that I was anti-immigrant, things that are just absolutely not true at all. There was some attempts even to edit my Wikipedia page to say that I was aligning myself with the far right and that I was anti-immigrant. And I can assure you that my DMs were full of that stuff as well. Now, the stuff people were saying about my appearance, I think people are just jealous, to be honest with you. And I'm sure some of you seen some of the far right people who were misappropriating what I was saying and trying to use it to bolster their own agenda, which was obviously absolutely horrifying to me and the last thing that I would want. Though I do think some of the assertions people were making that I was a far right poster boy or that they were all behind me, I think that was really overblown and kind of a hysterical reaction. There was plenty of far right people who, you know, were like, he's not saying what I really think. He should be saying this and that. They know they don't agree with me on almost everything. I just want to clear up some of the conspiracy theories about me, you know, being shut down by the board.
Now we play this one as well. This is the second one.
That I was anti-immigration. I honestly don't know where people even got that. I never aligned myself with Conor McGregor and said that I agreed with everything he said or anything even close to that. In fact, I said the opposite. I never said that immigrants are criminals or that immigrants are making our crime rate shoot to all-time highs. I never said any of this stuff. I never said that, you know, immigrants were coming into the country and causing the crime rate to skyrocket. I never said anything about crime rates, and I never said anything about immigrants causing that or anything like that. What I said is that the towns and the cities are becoming much less safe. And I believe that to be true. Some people were quoting CSO statistics and saying that crime has gone down, and many types of crime have gone down. Some types of crime have risen slightly. That's not the primary thing that I'm thinking about, though. There's a lot of antisocial behaviour being unaddressed. There's a lot of problems with drugs. The types of drugs have changed. There's many factors to why people feel things are getting much more unsafe. And also some of these problems were typically only present in Dublin, and we're starting to see them in other places in Ireland. But that is not an implication. Now, you can disagree with that, but it's not misinformation. There's perfectly reasonably a case to be made for that. It's something that a lot of people feel. And I also think we have to talk about these things, you know, because you've got Conor McGregor saying things like Dublin has gone from being one of the safest cities in Europe to being one of the most dangerous. That is not an accurate statement. And the problem is that when we're not talking about what people are feeling, what people are seeing, what people are concerned about, you allow people to hijack the conversation and drive it up into that hysterical level where you're saying it's one of the most dangerous things and blah, blah, blah. But people do have legitimate concerns about things, and those concerns are fine to have. I also feel like a lot of the time these conversations can become very centred around Dublin, and there are lots of communities outside Dublin that have concerns that are different, and resources and things like that. They're very differently managed outside of Dublin, and those things need to be respected.
Yeah, Garen, yeah. Now, Garen just said
we have a special appearance here tonight. This is Oreo.
Oh, have we? Who's it?
Look,
Oreo.
Oreo.
Is that because he's black and white?
Yes. A lot of thought went into that name.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I can think, Karen, you're slightly mistaken about that bit of information about Dublin.
Yeah, exactly. This is from the 15th of April, 2003. Dublin, one of the safest cities in the world. Dublin is considered one of the safest cities in the world. An international survey rated it 18th, well ahead of many European cities. The 9th of January, 2024, Sunday World, Dublin, excuse me, Dublin ranks among the top 10 most dangerous major cities in Europe. Okay, Garen. How can you justify what you just said? This is coming from the rag. This is coming from the rag that is the Sunday World, the propaganda machine. this is even telling you. You know what I mean? So, you know.
Yeah. And what I found very interesting was he was quick to give out about us, the big bad far right, and Conor McGregor, who is only speaking the truth. But yet he doesn't mention anything about Cannon. He doesn't mention anything about the lefties who came after him as well. There's no word about any of that. But we all knew this was coming. We all knew it was too good to be true. And you know what? What the saddest part about it is he didn't even say anything that bad. He could have just left it, ignored it, and just went back to his normal videos and paid no attention. You know? But he had to come out and he had to kind of demoralise all the rest of us. You know? But I put a little comment up under his page just pointing out a couple of things in Dublin.
I unfollowed him as well. I know he's a million or a couple of million followers. I just don't follow them. I thought, I'm not listening to that shit. And I used to like him. When I say I used to like him, I thought he was funny. You know, he was a bit of crack. You know what I mean?
He did was good. But I just said, like, have the backbone. He didn't even say anything that bad. Just let it. He could have just left it, you know, and just not even addressed it. Just left it and moved on. You know.
Someone said there are Nunes in Mayo. I know because my family are them.
He's from Mayo.
Okay. He is from Mayo, and I think
he is from Mayo.
Somebody sent me a message yesterday to say his mother was part of the. I think it's a Ballina for all. So what does that tell you?
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
What does
but again, as we said, he did not even say anything that was that bad. He should have just left it instead of targeting us and targeting Conor McGregor. Like we had this conversation about Conor McGregor. Whether you like him or whether you don't like him is irrelevant. Like the platform that he has and the voice that he has and all the people that can listen to him. Do you know? And like he's not lying in anything he says. But Garen's after coming up giving disinformation there about Dublin. Dublin's turned into one of the most dangerous cities.
There you go. Someone just posted there. He's been groomed to release that nonsense straight from a script. I posted that yesterday on Twitter, right? And I'm just going to check it here now. Bear with me. Now, this was just a comment I posted yesterday, right? On Twitter. Because, listen, I didn't fall for any of his bullshit. I knew well what he was at. Right. You know, I knew well what he was at. You knew as well, Orla. We spoke about it last week. But I'm just going to explain.
I just thought the timing was a bit strange as well, you know, especially just after the whole McGregor thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes things are just too good to be true.
Yeah. I'm in the US politics, so I better get out of that. We log into the other. No, we'll all go on, keep talking. We'll keep talking about that.
So anyway,
95%.
You know.
I heard Noon is good mates with Matty McGrath. Maybe. I don't know, mate, to be honest with you.
And we know we've seen how Matty has flip-flopped as well.
Yeah, but like I got stick yesterday when they put out the Orlan Force thing about me and everything else, like, you know what I mean?
Didn't get that much.
I got a bit. The news was shite, you know, with the pictures and the same 5 gobs. Yeah. But it's the same 5 gobshites, you know what I mean? And
overall, you know what I mean? Most people are very supportive, and fair play to Ferg for reposting it as well.
Yeah, Ferg doesn't repost all this, you know what I mean?
He's a good lad, Ferg.
Yeah, he is. Jesus Christ. Okay. Now, these lefties that are on to me, they're getting 5 on the post back. 5 views, okay?
Okay.
They're getting. Now, I'm going to just show you this, okay? This is what I posted yesterday, okay? I'll read it to you now. Okay, hang on. I'll make it bigger. Right, I'll make it a bit bigger. Okay. This was all planned, and he is reading from a script. I didn't buy it, and I called it out last week. He will be on the Late Late Show on Friday or next week. Wait and see. The big bad far away, far right took up for him because of another state actor. Cannon gave him threats. Wake up, people. They are all working for the state. Look at the views on that reply. 13,600 views on that reply. You know? And the lefties can only get 5 or 6 views. You know what I mean? Like we could put up, you know, I'm going to be honest, some of us could put up anything in a thing and we get 10,000 views. You know what I mean? I did want to go as well with John O'Looney. And I think it got something like 42,000 views. You know what I mean? So we're getting the word out. And a lot of people agreed. You called it out last week. I'm sure he's worried about you, Paul. And what did I post there? Why would he be worried? Why would he be worried? He's well protected.
Mm.
These days, people don't truly listen. His mother is a member of Ballina for All, tells you everything you need to know. I agree. He's proved himself a lefty in the video, condemning the far right, and we the ones who loved on him. I just turned him off completely. You're bang on, Paul. He's a coward. So here, this is Malone Paddy. How does it work, Paul? Does he send an invoice to the government? Tinfoil hat nonsense as ever. And I just text back, I'm sure you know how it works. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They're full of shit, the whole lot of them. Like, you know what I mean? Garen is a sellout. Garen, yeah, minding his fan base, bottom line. Yeah, exactly. Garen might lose followers. He ruined his usual stuff by trying to left himself. Yes, I agree.
As I said,
Yeah.
all he had to do was just ignore it. Just leave it and go back to what he was doing, you know, because he did not say anything that bad to begin with. He should have just left it alone. You know?
I see trees of Cal and Charlotte couldn't help themselves commenting on your Ireland Force press release. Yeah. Teresa should get up and go for a run. That's what she should do. Charlotte, we all know what Charlotte did. Charlotte killed her son. So these people are nobodies. These people, I wouldn't give these people my oxygen. They're scumbags. That's what they are. They're fascists. That's what they are. Yeah. Hold on. Like McGregor or not, but unlike Garen, he sticks to his word. Yeah, exactly. McGregor does stick to his word. Yeah. Paul is right. He'll be on RTA soon enough. Yes, he will.
Oh, yeah, he will be. Yeah.
Bad element. The Nunes and Ballina generations ago were land leaguers. There you go. Yeah, he never once supported us with a massive audience talking about Keith's.
No, he didn't. Like he never spoke about politics. I had this conversation in the group earlier on, because somebody was just asking, well, who is he and what does he do? And I was trying to explain it, and then I just sent on a video, and I said, but he never spoke about politics. That's why I thought it was kind of strange that he all of a sudden was speaking about something that he generally didn't, and it happened to come not long after McGregor speaking. So I just got this red flag thing from the very beginning.
Disappointed to see Tom joining Ireland Force. Nothing against him, but I think he's too much of a conspiracy theorist. I know a lot feel the same. How is it supposed to appeal to the general public? In what way is he a conspiracy theorist, if you don't mind me asking you? I'd like you to come back there, Jay, if you can. Because what's he talking about? You tell me what the conspiracy theories are. I'm an innocent man, yeah. Don't know if it was on the news, but about 10 schools in the north did not open yesterday because of threats.
Yeah, because of threats, I heard. Yeah, I saw something on that.
It's not the people that got you there that matter. It's the people you reach down to elevate. Yeah. Look, and I'm going to say this as well. There's a lot of guys on TikTok that, you know, I'm not going to mention any names, like, but there's a lot of guys and girls on TikTok that have thousands and 20, 30, 40,000 followers. They know what's going on. They see what's going on. They're doing stupid poxy food reviews.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? You have the platform there to reach out and talk to people, but they're all being monetized. That's the problem here. They're afraid that little. Again, it's all about gravy trains here. You know what I mean? They're all making money out of it.
I've said that a few times about my TikTok account. Like, you know, I went to put back up my video on that I had would say so 2 days ago I put up a video on old Ireland from the 90s, right?
Sorry, and just like the thing about conspiracy theorists is that they keep getting proved right.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So anyway, I went to put it back up again, right? And straight away, now again, this is a video on Ireland from the 1990s. It's gotten over 32,000 views on Facebook, right? In 2 days. So it's absolutely flying on Facebook. And on TikTok, it got only 500. And I said, that's a bit suspicious. So I took it down. I said, you know, I'll stick it back up again. But straight away again, it comes in content under review. It doesn't matter if I put up a second video of my cats. It's content under review. So I'm completely shadow banned. Some things will break through and won't.
I'm the same. Yeah. I'm the same.
Speaking but look, you're still just trying to get the word out anyway. So, you know.
Yeah. Left a comment on Garen's post to tell him no far right in the area. Sad to see he's backpedaled. Thought he might have had the courage to stand over his comments. Exactly. Because He's getting he's on the gravy train. That's the problem here. And he wasn't cancelled. He took these down himself
Yeah, he took down
to
stuff himself, yeah.
recoup and get and come back with whatever. He was reading from a script there. Someone texted me last night and said, how could he be reading from a script? You can see him on the camera. Listen, I can have a script in front of me now and I could be reading from the script while looking at the camera the way I am now. I can have it underneath here. So don't give me bullshit.
You just put pieces of paper around, your camera, and you can just, what you need to speak about, But anyway, shall we do Jenna Huntley's video on bold Michael Lowry in the Dáil today?
Yeah, I'll do that now in a minute. Hang on a sec. Yeah. Paul, hearing there is a new talk show starting on Sunday at 9, odd and strange time. Would love to know who was running it. I see them promoting their shit. What is this on? Is it on? Is this on mainstream or is it one of our crowd? Because we all know Herman has his trans extravaganza on Sunday night at 8:00. So, yeah.
But he's been doing that for ages. So,
just because you're paranoid doesn't mean people aren't talking about you. Yeah, support your local conspiracy theorists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you. When are we going to talk about the cook regulatory men in Ireland who are dominated by their wives, who work for the government as teachers, nurses, etc., are rabid Marxists in Ireland? I agree. No, and Rommel, I do agree with you because I know guys who are afraid of their life to open their mouth. They talk to me and they tell me, "Oh, you're right, Paul, you're right." I said, "Well, why aren't you standing with us?" "Oh, there'll be bleeding murder in the house if I said that." This is why I'm in the predicament I'm in, people. You know what I mean? Yeah. He will get a bigger backlash after that video. Yes, he will. Just a few sausages for me and Anthony. He did Orla, gave a lefty commentary on Parnell kid stabbing. Yes. Conor McGregor, yeah. Come on, Conor. What the fuck happened to Dave Cullen? All the talks about is Hollywood and Disney films now. Yeah. Jay, regarding chemtrail. Oh, yeah, Jay, okay. Regarding chemtrails, etc., I've no issue with people believing in whatever. But at the end of the day, the party needs to grow. It needs to appeal to people that aren't online. Okay, Jay, can I ask you a question? Is there no chemtrails? I'll ask you now because I'm going to put it out to the audience here now. Is there no chemtrails? I look up every day and I see them. I done a video yesterday. I'll show you the video now in a minute. I'll throw it up from my phone now in a minute. I stood in Blanchardstown Shopping Centre yesterday morning at 9:00. I was heading into the court. The Coolock Junction case was on yesterday. And at 9:00, I done a video. I looked up and you could see it was a beautiful day yesterday. The sky was blue. It was like looking into the ocean. It was gorgeous. And I came back at 1:30. I got the bus back to Blanchardstown at 1:30. And boy, God, you want to see it at 1:30. You could see them after being everywhere.
It's
so
like
chemtrails are real.
You know what it reminds you of? X's and O's. That's what it reminds you of.
It's ridiculous, like, you know what I mean?
And that is not normal cloud formation.
Not at all. I have a script. I have a script to Paul. He's reading my scripts of my email. I didn't. Did you send me an email? Did you send me something, Jaden? Hang on, I'll just have a look. I tell you where I'm going to go. I'm going to go with this. I'll finish off some of these. Did you see the school children up in the Dáil? They don't give a shit about us. Yeah. You mean,
that's what I'm saying about Michael Lowry,
extravaganza, Paul. Yeah, Herman's ex-trans. Yeah. This is the 4th time on Irish Own. Do a great job. This is my 4th time on Irish Own. Do a great job. Okay, yeah. Irish Own. Noel. Listen, I like Noel. Noel's all right. So-called far-right groups are on watch list now by the Gardaí. Yes, when speaking the truth gets you on a list, we are an authoritarian state. Yeah. We are.
I know.
I don't need that Eddie Vedder cover artist sticking up for me. Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. I don't really think that is Conor McGregor. But if it is, come on, you have the number there, Conor. Come on. Yeah. Come on and have a chat. Listen, it'll be a world exclusive here, you know what I mean? For the and the lads will be sick. We get them on Ireland Live instead of getting them on the column.
Could you imagine?
Mate, if you want, come on.
Yeah. And Conor McGregor actually started following Frank Conway.
That's right, yeah. I seen that.
Only a couple of days ago he started following him, so fair play.
I've lost friends whose wife or live in Girlfriend is a raging lefty. Listen, I know them all. We need to stop drinking the fluoride water. There's
Yeah,
another conspiracy theory, lads. That's true.
that's not
You know what I
conspiracy theory.
mean?
Yeah. The water's been
It was
tested.
all a distraction with Noon. We said it last week as soon as the video, Trish Clark. I wouldn't be too bothered about them blocking accounts, Orla. My ex was blocked yesterday, and I put up pictures of Wallace and Daly. Oh, did you see that? That was horrendous. Did you see the
Oh
two of them
yeah, I
gobshite?
saw.
Oh my God.
Look, I just
Oh no. Yeah, what's this, Paul? What's that? But I sent some on WhatsApp. Okay, yeah, okay, Jay. Ricard Millie, I must have a look there. I didn't see it. I'm honestly, mate, I'm getting that many texts, and I'm in that many groups. It's just, I work near Baldonnell. The amount of chemtrails are unreal. It's like what Orla said, X's and O's. Yeah, I'm telling you
it is.
now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see the chemtrails at night time? No, you don't see any of that crap at night time because the cloud cover is already in. You know what I mean? And I remember Herman saying this to me. Oh, you can't talk about chemtrails. You have to tell the truth, people. People want the truth. You know what I mean? And there's a movie out. If you remember that movie, Don't Look Up. That's exactly what they're talking about. Don't look up. You have every kid. All the kids are stuck looking in their phones, and you'll say to someone, "Look at that shit." Like, my kids are Deadwood. I'll be driving down the road with the kids, and my kids will say, "Look at that. There's one of them false clouds, one of them made up clouds." And yeah. I think Jay is late to the party. Yeah, definitely Jay is late to the party. You know what I mean? Jeez, we're flying in here. Guys, you have to take fluoride out of water. There's another one says it. Missing in Dublin. Anybody? Jay, here we go. I hear what you're saying. The media will come after you all harsh as they always do. I feel this could be fueling ways for them to attack the party. I think the main issues should be focused on. But we are focusing on the main issues. But that doesn't mean we can't talk about what's going on. Like, you know what I mean? We have to talk about what's going on. If you turn a blind eye to this, nobody knows about it. You know what I mean? Jesus, lads, we're smashing it here tonight. Cloud seeding late at night. They're doing it all the time, but you don't see it as much at night. I'm being honest with you because it's dark. Ireland's a small island, was filled with only pigs, animal, livestock. You'd clear the majority out. Yeah.
But that's what this show is for, though. Like, this show is to be able to talk about things that, is not featured on mainstream media.
How come the cancer rates are different between the north and south of Ireland on the one island? I would like that question and asked in the Dáil.
Oh.
Yeah, so would I. Tim Cuddihy.
They're too busy fighting and rowing like children up in the Dáil to be able to get anything done, as we saw today.
Distraction from the obvious fact that the government have surrendered power to the EU and have no power to deal with any important issues.
Yes.
Right, lads. I literally, hang on a minute. The files are gormless deleted. Yes, they need to be looked at. I literally spent an hour and 40 minutes standing in the same location filming videos of the score yesterday evening, and I managed to catch about 16 aircraft spraying one after the other. Listen, it's happening. We know it's happening. Yeah. Okay, you spoke about this, about Dublin, about Ireland in the 90s. I remember this. Okay, and I'm going to play it now, and we'll come back. Can you hear that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's what Billy the Kid said. Look what they took from us.
Yeah. And look at the guards. The guards are even smiling at it. Everyone is in such good humour. And it's really funny because I got it actually from Mick O'Keefe. And I put it up, as I said, 2 days ago on my Facebook account. And there at 9 o'clock, it was at over 32,000 views, right? And people actually messaged me and going, oh my God, that was me and that was me. And, you know, people actually recognize themselves. But look how happy and how proud people were to be Irish. You know what I mean? And we're just out having a bit of crack, doing no harm, just messing around in the streets. Nobody cared, nothing going on.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And as I said, look at the guards, look at the difference of how this country has changed.
How many black men or how many black women or Arab men or Arab women did you see in that video?
All
Not
Irish.
one. That was
This was only the
1990.
1990s.
It was Italian 90. That's what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's 25 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
I was sitting on the top of the traffic lights at O'Connell Bridge. Fair play to you, Peter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. I haven't seen you in a long time, Peter. How's things, mate? Still there. That's when Ireland belonged to the Irish, exactly.
Yeah.
And when we were proud Irishmen.
Yeah, I know.
Now you have Black Paddy coming in here and telling us that, oh, I'm Irish, I'm this. Oh, you're not Irish. You're full of shit. That's what you are. I wish, Charlie, I know where you're going with that, or should I say when you're going with that. Okay. Yeah. We get poisoned through the food chain now. Exactly. And somebody just said there as well in a comment, and there wasn't a pick on any of them. Everybody was healthy. Everybody, like, there was no heavy people in any of them. You know, I'm not, listen, there probably was some heavy people, but not to the extent we have now with all the shite that's going on now with the food and everything else.
And actually, speaking of that, I have sent on 2 videos to you from Elaine Mullally, and that conversation actually comes up from Dr. Pat Morrissey.
Yeah, I'll play them. I have them there and all. Yeah.
Yeah.
All good, Paul. Fair play to you, Peter. You must come on some night, because people tell you that Peter is a conspiracy theorist, and I'm going to be honest, I've had a good few conversations with Peter about the Kalergi plan and everything else, so Peter knows his stuff as well. And Peter's a very well-educated man as well. He'll talk to you about climate change as well and all that other bullshit that's going on. I wasn't even born. 35 years ago. Jaden Chris just put up there a minute ago. You remember the 50s too, Paul, don't you? I don't know.
He does. Paul remembers the 1850s very, very well.
Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Novartis, they are already relocating in small phases back to the US to avoid Trump's tariffs. Ireland is going to pay a high price economically for EU membership or exit. Yeah. Yeah, we really are. We have to. We was saving for my house then, had my deposit in a year. And your house probably only cost what? What did your house cost? About 20 grand, if even. It's gone ridiculous. I saw planes going left to right in perfect sequence, spreading chemtrails behind them. I'm seeing them all the time, lads. I really am. And listen, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. You know what I mean? What's the old one they say? I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll have a look. Yeah. We got time off. I drove my motorbike with the empty roads from Dunshaughlin today. Somebody asked me earlier, just let me hang on. Who sent me that? Was that you sent that to me, Jaden? Was it? I don't know who it was, but I'll have a look. 300 messages. Somebody asked me earlier, just let me see. Somebody asked me earlier, was there an iPass centre in Dunshaughlin? Or was it Dunboyne? Hang on. Paul, please ask tonight's listeners, is there an iPass centre being built at the northern exit to the N3 in Dunshaughlin? I don't know, to be honest with you. But if anyone knows, can you please?
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it myself. Boom.
Paul, your microphone on.
Can you hear me now? Is it going? Is it better now?
Yeah. It's just that crackling thing we speed up again.
Yeah. But we're at the hitting 800 there, people. Fair play to you. We're flying tonight, I have to say, yeah. And it's great. We get the same crowd in every week. You know what I mean? I hope Conor McGregor comes in there now.
It's great to see the same names coming up again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breaking up, Paul. Yeah. I'm back now, lads. I'm back now. Ballyshannon. Your stream's breaking up, lads. Is it okay now? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to start playing the stuff? Because we've a few things to talk about in relation to the shots.
Yeah. Was it the Elaine Mullally one? Where did I pull
There's
that
two
down to?
videos from Elaine Mullally. She did an interview with Dr. Pat Morrissey and Dr. Billy Ralph. It's on YouTube. You can find it through our Facebook page or our Twitter page or on YouTube. And it's very, very good. I have to say it's very informative. So here's two clips.
I'm actually pulling them down now. What I'm going to go with
They
here,
just go
okay,
slow,
is
Paul.
no. Well, I could have played them here, but they could break up here. You know what I mean? I'd rather have them pulled down onto
I
the
don't know.
system.
Here I am, but we're ready to go. I look and Paul's there having a cigarette.
Well, I'm always having a cigarette. That's all I do is
I
smoke. You know
need a new co-host. Does anybody want to come on with me?
But again, as I said, we put this out last week. I put this out last Thursday because I was on my own here last Thursday. If anyone wanted to come in and have a chat, you're more than welcome. You have the numbers there. You know what I mean? Come in and have a chat. You know what I mean? But media assets, right? I have that there. Right, I'm going to play the first one from her and we'll come back there now.
Okay. Just a more hopeful perspective on things. You know, I know we decry the state of affairs in this country, but in the United States, there's 7 or 8 states now progressing legislation to ban all mRNA injections. All mRNA injections in humans and in animals.
Right.
You know,
That is positive, yeah. Well, I think people have stopped themselves though. I mean, like all of anyone I'm speaking to, and even sick or well, and they're all saying, I'm never getting another one, I'm never getting another one. There's a serious amount of trust after the law in the health profession in this country, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, but it's not just humans, and this is maybe a topic for another day. The UN want to push this overarching agenda called One Health, and we have a facility or a center. I think it's in UCD, a One Health facility, and the former head of NEPIT is now ensconced there, as far as I know, or some of the former people involved in NEPIT are involved in that. But One Health involves any threat to human health or animal health or the biosphere at large is a threat to the whole. So they're pushing this agenda of mRNA vaccinations in animals as well. So that's another front in this battle we have to be aware of. That they're going after the food chain as well, and people, you know, need to watch. If there wasn't enough things moving parts in this debacle, that this is another one that people need to look at. Is the One Health aspect.
Yeah, I would agree.
That was that one. There's another one as well.
Now, I'm going to comment on this, okay? I thought it was quite interesting in what he was talking about in relation to the mRNA, right? Now, anyone who knows me knows that I am heavily involved in animal welfare. And I also foster kittens. And part of my role in the fostering is before they get adopted, they have to be neutered, but they also have to get their shots and everything like that as well. And I have noticed, now I have no proof, but I have noticed in the last couple of years, I'm doing it 4 years now, but I've noticed specifically in the last couple of years that most times when the kittens get their shots, they generally get sick afterwards. And that wasn't happening before, or if it was very rare. This is nearly every time that they're getting sick. And I remember taking in this one particular kitten, and she had an injury to her leg, and brought her to the vet anyway. She got antibiotics and anti-inflammatories. Everything was fine. And everything had settled down. And then a few weeks later, she was due in for her shots. And straight after she got her shots, I think it was the following day, the leg issue started back up again. It was like the inflammation, you know? And I've noticed now, as I said, I've no proof over anything, but I've noticed it myself over the last couple of years.
Yeah, listen, it's happening. It's happening to everyone. Never mind the dogs. It's happening to the people. And listen, people, I'm not giving out to people, or I'm not calling you idiots, or I'm not saying anything. I know people got vaccinated for all the right reasons. They thought it was the right reason. But now we know listen, the proof
And a
is
lot
out
of people,
there.
and a lot of people were coerced as well, and were bullied into it, and were doing it because they were worried about their grandmother and this, that, and the other. Do you know what I mean? But as I said, like, we have no idea what's in these shots, and we don't. You know, and this mRNA is genetic engineering. And again, like that, Dr. Pat Morrissey, you know, I thought it was very interesting when he was addressing the shots. He was calling them, you know, gene therapy and all this, and that's exactly what he was addressing them as.
Yeah. What did someone say?
Now,
Thanks,
the next part is, I think, in relation to the excess deaths.
The which?
The next
Yeah, the
video.
excess deaths. Yeah, hang on there
I
now.
think
I
they're
have it
speaking
here.
about the excess deaths.
Yes, I'm going to play that now.
And listen to the numbers.
Before I ask, I was going to touch on the Roy Butler case, particularly with yourself, Dr. Morrissey. What was the figure you gave again there for the excess deaths from since 2021? Excess over 21, 22, 23 and 24, so it'll be 4 years.
It's 22,000 and growing.
22,000. So that's over 5,000 a year.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I wasn't aware of that figure, to be totally honest. So there you go. Yeah. So I know the Roy Butler case was up last year, and Dr. Morrissey, I think you had a particular interest in it. You were following it anyway, for sure. Was there anything in particular you wanted to add in about that case, or is there anything you want to?
Well, I suppose what I can say, the coroner reached a judgment. I think it was a narrative judgment, if I'm correct, in relation to the case. They could not find a connection with the Janssen injection that he received. The state pathologist, Margaret Bolster, said she was baffled about the case, and that was their own words. And we couldn't make a connection with the injection. So it's quite curious. The population of the country understood what happened. They made their judgments. They know what happened. This young, promising, intelligent, athletic chap from Watford went to get a jab so he could travel to Dubai, and he became severely ill within 24 hours of getting it, and he was dead 5 days later through a mechanism that was linked in the coroner's inquest with at least, I think, up to 20 other cases. There were 20 other similar cases referenced in the inquest that people had died in a similar way after taking the Janssen. Yet the coroner, in his wisdom, and the pathologist, in her wisdom, were unable to make a connection with the Janssen. So the mind boggles.
It does. Gone are the days when you could connect something directly with something that you had received within a short period of time, and all of that. Science went out the window, basically.
That was terrible. I remember when that young lad died. There was only about a year, I think it was only about a year between him and my son. And I'll never forget it. Like, it was absolutely awful. And there was a protest kind of down in Waterford, and I actually went down to it at the time. And it was absolutely terrible. Like, he was only, like, what was he, 21 or 20 or something like that. And he only took the shots to go on holidays. He was perfectly healthy. And then to turn around and for them to say, oh, there's no connection, we can't find a connection. Of course there's a connection. He took ill the following day. Within, 24 hours, he took ill. And then he was gone in 5 days. Like, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Like, I hope those parents are taking a civil case or something like that, because that is an absolute and utter disgrace. And I'm actually really glad that was brought up, because that is absolutely horrific what happened to that young lad.
Dementia in OAP women has gone through the roof since COVID. Yes, and it has. Yes.
And we said that as well. Like,
yeah,
you know the way you think about it a few years ago. How many people could you count on your hand that you knew that had dementia or Alzheimer's? You were lucky to say one or two. Now you're on to two hands counting how many people you know now with dementia and Alzheimer's. It's gone through the roof in the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, I know. It has. Yeah, it really has. But I remember all my trouble started when I started speaking out about this, and being honest with you, I spoke out about COVID. Everywhere I went, I was telling people not to get the jab and to look into it and this, that, and the other. But I remember being down in Achill, and it was a lovely summer's day. It was around June. I think it was June, or it could have been. Maybe it was a summer, and anyway. And all the kids that the crowd we were with, there was a couple of, probably 20 couples, like, you know what I mean? And all their kids were heading up to Castlebar to get that vaccine so as they could go here, there, and everywhere. And it was the week that child died in Achill Sound. They couldn't match that to the vaccine either. The child got the vaccine, and 2 weeks later, the child was dead. You know what I mean? God rest his little soul. You know what I mean? But if the people had known about that, if that hadn't been covered up, would you have sent your child up to get vaccinated if you'd have known that happened? This is what happened. They shut it down. You know what I mean? They shut everyone down. I was shut down. I wasn't allowed into the pub because I was talking about vaccines. That's how bad it got down there for me.
Yeah.
I was sitting outside drinking. You know what I mean? Like the pub was on lockdown. Like, you had to go to a little hatch and get it. We were all sitting in a shed across the road. I think there was football on or something at the time. Was it the World Cup? It could have been the World Cup that was on.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I wasn't allowed. You know what I mean? I had to get someone else to get me drink and everything. I think I even brought my own drink. Yeah, that's how bad it got. You know what I mean?
But as Dr. Pat Morrissey says in that interview, he explains about the chronic inflammation in the body that these shots, spike proteins, are causing. And it's inflammation of all the organs, including the brain. And there is a lot of doctors out there reckon that there is, because it's crossing the blood-brain barrier, that they definitely reckon that there is something to do with the increased rates of Alzheimer's and dementia, because it's causing inflammation in the brain. It's the same as the myocarditis and the pericarditis of the heart. It's the same as the liver and the kidneys and all these other issues that people are having, like your high blood pressure, the blood clots and everything. Like, there was plenty of doctors out there talking about all this from the very beginning. And they just, again, like that, they were shot down, they were called conspiracy theorists, and everything like that. Remember, we had Dr. Vincent Carroll as well. We had Dr. Marcus de Bruin. They were all like absolutely crucified for speaking out.
Everyone was shut down.
Yeah.
But we'll go back. I want to go back to the dementia thing as well. Like, dementia has gone through the roof.
It has. So it's Alzheimer's, yeah.
In older women. But listen, dementia has got very bad over the years. But doctors have been telling people for years to lower the cholesterol. Your brain is made of cholesterol. It's 80% or 90% cholesterol. You know what I mean? Why would you stop giving your body what it needs, especially your brain? You know what I mean? And that's a fact. Like, you know what I mean? I've seen it. You know what I mean? I've watched different doctors talking about it. You know what I mean? And there were 1 million in London marches, all knowing that it was poison. Yes, that's right, Paul O'Neill. Woo, great. What did Paul O'Neill say? I didn't see what Paul O'Neill said. There's somebody letting on to be Herman Kelly here, and he's throwing up loads of shit. Wake Up Era was the biggest voice during COVID. Full stop. Yes. Barry, listen, Barry's a friend of mine. Barry's a good friend of mine. I've been on loads of marches with Barry. And again, I was told not to be on the marches with Wake Up Era. They were crazies when I was with the party, the whole lot. And Herman will probably come in now and say, I didn't tell you that. I was told not to be with the crazies. But what he didn't understand was these people were all my friends before I joined the party. You know what I mean? Every one of these people. And I still help Barry out. Barry is a great guy, I have to say. And so is Adele and everyone else. They're all brilliant. Somebody asked there, what was it World Cup was? It was Qatar 2022. So it was during COVID. I know a lad whose parents-in-law kicked him out of the house. Well, Anto Boyle was thrown out of his house because of it, because he wouldn't take the vaccine. You know, so now Paddy, my niece, lives there. Yeah, Ballyshannon, is it? Yeah.
But I mean, the best one ever was, your shot was only going to work if somebody else took theirs. Like, what utter nonsense. You know what I mean? If a vaccine is going to work, it doesn't matter who takes it, as long as you've taken it.
Yeah.
It's supposed to work.
And you won't catch COVID if you spend $9.50 on a meal.
Yes. Or if you stand up in the pub, or if you sit down in the pub. One or the other, you wouldn't want to catch it either. Do you know, like, oh my God, the utter nonsense that come out. I think I actually sent another couple of things in relation to the shots as well.
Hang on, listen, I have loads of stuff here for the shots. I have a pregnant 6.5-month pregnant
that's
woman.
That's one of the things, no, that's actually awful. That's to do with the flu shot.
Yeah, so I'm going to just go with that now. This is a flu shot. But listen, they're all these new, everything is mRNA now. I was only talking to my daughter tonight when I was coming back in the car about The HPV, is it?
The HPV, yeah.
The Gardasil. No. Not going to happen.
Oh, I
sorry.
sent on the Gardasil thing as well. I have that sent on as well.
I have that there. I have that, yeah. But Wake Up Era got hundreds of thousands of leaflets printed, backed up by facts about jab and dangers. I was there. I gave out them leaflets. I helped them out. I really did. You know what I mean? Not a lot, as much as I could. You know what I mean? But listen, I'll be helping them out more now because we need to get on top of this. You know what I mean? I'm just going to play this one here about the lady who lost a child.
I was 6.5 months pregnant with twins and a boy and a girl. I went in for a routine exam, and at the end of the exam, as I was about to leave, my doctor said, I really would like you to stop by the nurse's station and get a flu shot. Against my better judgment, I went ahead and let them give me the shot. Within 5 to 6 hours after the shot, I started getting severe cramps and bleeding. I immediately went back to the hospital where my doctor was, and he said, "You are having a miscarriage." I lost my son, and my daughter ended up at 18 months diagnosed with severe autism. She regressed in my womb. I had her baby teeth analyzed, and baby teeth form in the womb. Her baby teeth had tons of mercury in them. My doctor was so horrified by what happened. He said, "I'm not giving any more flu shots to pregnant women."
Evening, Catherine. Refresh the chat. Paul is in the chat. Sorry, yeah.
That's
heartbreaking.
Absolutely horrendous. And like, they were given something that wasn't properly tested, that was rushed through to pregnant women. Like, I've been pregnant twice. I didn't even drink coffee while I was pregnant. Do you know what I mean? Like, you were told, you can't eat cheese and you can't do this and you can't do that and you can barely take a Panadol. But yet it was okay to give pregnant women shots that weren't properly tested and were rushed through to the market. Like, madness, absolute madness.
Now, my missus used to get the flu thing. She got it while she was pregnant as well, and I was pissed about that. Like, you know what I mean? But listen, it's her body.
No, I'm not actually talking about the flu shot. I'm actually talking about, the COVID shots.
Listen, any shots when you're pregnant is not good. I don't care what anyone says. You know what I mean? Have you ever been to Slane, Paddy? Yeah, I've been there a few times. Saw Queen in Slane. All them in 1854. In
1854, that's correct. Yes.
I have 2 young children. I had battles about the childhood vaccines. My advice: educate yourself and be prepared. Yes.
People just need to have, there needs to be proper, I keep saying this, informed consent. And there is not proper informed consent. If people want to drink bleach, by all means, go off ahead and do it if you want to. As long as you know the facts. It's the same with the shots. You must know the full side effects, and then you make, an informed decision.
Yeah, you do realise that the government can't be held accountable because they didn't issue any of the orders for COVID. It was issued by NEFID. This is what NEFID was set up, so they can't be held accountable. Well, I think they can, I'm being honest with you. And I actually have a website ready to go, my COVID claim. So we'll be working on that now in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months. The pineal gland protects the brain from infection, and that's what they were doing with this.
Yeah, shoving it up into your brain. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
and people didn't know this, but that thing is doused with oxyacetylene. It's called EO or OE, oxyacetylene, OE. And what happens is it's a cancer carcinogenic. When that gets wet from being up your nose, that's why people's noses were stinging them, because it was the oxy. It's supposed to be to sterilize them, but it's a cancer carcinogenic. You know what I mean? My friend's sister Bridget got the severe seizure after taking the jab.
Yeah.
My dad still can't lie on the side of his thing. You know what I mean? Jesus,
look at all the people over in America who ended up having like Bell's palsy, and had all these fits and everything like that after the shots.
Yeah. I hope people don't take any more shots and flu shots. The information is out there 3 years now. No excuse. Look after your family, children. They are precious. I am. And this is the hill I'll die on. I'm telling you now.
Well, I've said it as well. I said my daughter did not get the shots that were brought into school last year. I kept her out of school for those couple of days so she wasn't getting them.
Yeah. I'm just looking there. Somebody posted there. People applauding Houlihan. Houlihan cervical smear comes to mind. My friend was one of those women who died. I'm going to be
How
honest.
could
I said
anyone
this. I
listen to
said
one
this.
word that he said
I said the same thing. Oh, you said
after
exactly the same
everything
thing.
he done?
Yeah. Young girls in certain parts of rural alone and glorified traffic wardens with a serious attitude problem. I don't know what that's about. I could put.
Can you put up that Gardasil from I think it's from JFK
RFK.
or RFK, sorry.
Yeah, hang on, I have it there somewhere. Where have I got it? There
They're
it is.
showing side effects, do you know?
Yeah.
But down in Australia, statistics have come out that girls that ended up years ago having the HPV, that they ended up being infertile afterwards, and that if any of them did get cervical cancer, it ended up being worse.
Yeah, here it is here. Gardasil. Merck lied about this vaccine, deceived regulators and public. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Look up the studies, read them. If you did, you would never take the Gardasil vaccine. 2.3% chance, 1 in 40 of autoimmune disease within 6 months. 50% develop major injury within 6 months. Death rate, double the background rate. Miscarriage rate, 5 times the background rate. Reproductive injury rate is 5 times the background rate. No proof vaccine does anything to reduce cervical cancer. Indications the vaccine actually gives you cancer. Watch this. There's a 2.5 minute video. I haven't got it here. I didn't see that there.
No, I didn't send over the video. There wasn't a video attached. I just saw that.
Yeah, but that's the Gardasil. That's what they want you to pump into your
There's 1 or 2 of them. Yeah. And the statistics are out in Australia, you know, and it is not good. Like it's actually saying that it is one of the most dangerous shots out there. But yet, and then why are they giving it to boys? Like this is madness.
Exactly.
Why would you give a jab for cervical cancer to a boy? It's ridiculous.
Because it makes you infertile.
Yeah.
That's why. You know what I mean? Same with these vaccines, all these other crap vaccines. No one will be held accountable for this in our lifetimes. Well, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to put my hand on my heart here now. If I ever got into the Dáil, or if I ever got into any sort of power, I will hold every one of them accountable. Every one of them. And I don't care. Listen, they can kill me because I will hold them all accountable. I don't care.
Yeah, they should be.
You know, my friend died a horrible death for treatment for stage 4 is horrendous. And this is another thing what's happening as well. People are showing up with stage 4 cancer and it's riddled through them. You know what I mean? Like I know people who have died of cancer in the last few years, and it wasn't even a mild cancer. It was, they were diagnosed and they were dead within 6 months. Like one of my best mates' brothers was diagnosed with cancer. I think he was 6 weeks. He was dead. Now he was a smoker and all. Don't get me wrong. Listen, but he went from.
But
he was.
There's no stage 1 or stage 2 anymore. Where are they? Like it's all stage 3 and terminal. Do you know?
Yeah.
And they're riddled with it. Like, do you know, it's not like, they found one lump. There could be several lumps. Like, it's just horrendous what's going on.
Yeah, I know. Remember Track and Trace? I had fun with that in Cork one day.
I never had to do it.
I never took the thing up my nose. Now I'll put my hand up. I wore a mask. I did wear a mask for the first couple of weeks. And then in April, I thought, I actually listened to Dr. Professor Dolores Cal. People say she was nuts. People say she was this. People say she was that. But I'm going to be honest with you. She opened my eyes to this. She really did, you know?
Yeah.
And I was only talking to her a couple of weeks ago. It was probably before Christmas I was talking to her because she was helping out with a few things we were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her the story. I said, and she said, and she shook my hand and she gave me a hug. She says, well, at least somebody listened. You know, even if only one did. I said, listen, I had loads of people on the same page as me on this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I watched some of her stuff, yeah.
Yeah. No, listen, she knows her shit. You know what I mean? She really does.
But if you ask anyone who didn't take the shots, not one of us regret it. Like, not one of us say, oh my God, I wish I'd taken them. No, everyone is just thinking, thank God we didn't take them.
Yeah, but how many people, everybody who took it now regrets it. Anyone I talk to regrets it. You know?
But there's still lots of ones there, Paul, that are still running out to get their boosters.
Yeah, geez, we've only 25 minutes left. I'm going to go. This is the globalist plan. We were talking about fertility and the infertility of the whole lot. This is 2 minutes, 25 seconds long. Waiting to see this. This is a baby making factory.
This is the artificial womb facility, a place where humans could be grown entirely from scratch. The devices you see here are called growth pods. Each growth pod is designed to replicate the same conditions that exist inside the mother's uterus. Growth pods are designed to host human fetuses until they are fully developed. These artificial wombs are designed to help premature babies to continue developing after their birth. But emerging scientific research is making it possible to use them to create designer humans entirely from scratch.
We have Phil McCrack we have on again. You know that gobshite who comes on, and he turns around and says, "You absolute spoofer! If I got into power, I'd hold them accountable. Go away! You done a runner last year after you were caught taking funds from Kulak. Says no, go fund me. Absolute doorbell you. I had nothing to do with the Kulak. Says no, go fund me. My name, I was told my name was put on the Kulak. Says no." Sean Crow was the man who set up the Kulak Says No GoFundMe. I received nothing from it. I wanted nothing from it. I wanted my name taken off it. So you're a bell end. Okay, Phil McCrack. I had nothing got to do with that GoFundMe. And anyone who knows me knows me. You're just a gobshite. Okay, you're full of shit.
Anyway, pay no attention. So,
oh my God,
you know what that reminds me of? It's like something from a horror movie. Like, that just absolutely creeps you out watching that, doesn't it? Like, that is against God.
Yeah, yeah.
The evil is here, lads. Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, and see the way they said as well, like, you know, we can start making babies from scratch. Well, what exactly are they going to be making?
This is it.
Like, that is exactly so creepy.
Yeah.
That is against God.
I just wanted to say that Sheepdog put it up there now. He just got word his auntie has stage 4 cancer. Jeez, I hope, listen.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry to hear that, mate. I'm really sorry to hear that. Human beings will soon carry an expiry date for mandatory euthanasia. Well, they're already bringing
that's coming as well,
Canada, you know?
Yeah.
And thank you very much, Air Force. You'll do nothing, Phil, because Phil's a gobshite. Sheepdog, though, it's not a great replacement. The government are invested in this demise. Lady Gaga covered this in her music video. Yeah, I seen it. Yeah. Transhumanism is demonic. Sheepdog, our thoughts are with you. Our thoughts are with you. I'll say a prayer for her. Yeah, I really will. That's heartbreaking. Conor McGregor, light a candle for her. Fair play to you, Conor. Yeah. Nobody has sent me in a message there, so I'll drop that one back down. Let's let me get rid of that. Well, I just want to say, there's only 20 minutes left. Oh, this is not
are you going to play the Nick Delahunty with Michael Lowry? I thought that was very good. Now point out a few facts about him.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I will. I'm going to play that right now.
I can't believe this has happened. After a full day of pure chaos in the Dáil, all over speaking rights, because of him, Michael Lowry, the scandal-ridden TD, has been caught on camera giving 2 fingers to another TD.
Mr Lowry received nearly £900,000 sterling because of his association with the ESAT Digiphone boss.
It amounts to a shocking indictment of his behaviour. Crony capitalism, improper influence.
People's worst suspicions have been confirmed.
Shocking corporate and political corruption.
Among its other findings, the Moriarty Tribunal reported on a payment of £147,000, which it said went from Denis O'Brien to the politician Michael Lowry.
Why on earth is Micheál Martin and Simon Harris willing to go into government and prop this man up? What does he have over them? Nothing good in Ireland will happen as long as Michael Lowry is close to power, because all he does is he bends and manipulates people to his own favour. Like, this man has no respect for the people of Ireland. He does not care whether young people are able to buy a house, whether young people are able to start families and find daycare spots. He doesn't give a hoot. His track record speaks for itself. Power and skill of this man is undeniable. He is very good at what he does, but he doesn't want to make Ireland better. He has never put Ireland first. He has never put Irish people first. He's put big corporates, shady deals and himself to the fore. Screw Michael Lowry. The sheer arrogance to give another TD 2 fingers in the Dáil after you've caused all this chaos. Like, it is just...
Sorry, I'll start back up my cam there. Yeah, this film of crack is a gobshite. I'm not... Listen, you know it's lies, mate, so don't be annoying me. You know.
But isn't that unbelievable with Larry today? Like, Jesus Christ almighty, he's just unbelievable. And then them all fighting like children in the Dáil. Like, you know, nothing, they're barely up in the Dáil as it is. And then when the Gwyndet are at this nonsense. So, like, nothing's getting discussed, nothing's getting passed. Like, it's just ridiculous.
What has he got on them? What has he got on them?
God only knows.
No, seriously, like, God only knows what he has on them. You know what I mean? You know, it's... What's this here now? As the saying goes, Michael John Dennis, be careful what you wish for. Patrick Mack thought it was Paul Murphy he was giving the fingers to. I don't know who it was now, to be honest with you, but...
It just said another TD. I don't know who the TD was.
Yeah. They're all. If anyone can buy us a coffee, please do. And thank you very much for everyone who has bought us a coffee over the last couple of weeks. Fair play to you all.
Thanks very much.
Show, it's running itself there now. Like, you know what I mean? We've paid for last month and out of it. So fair play to you. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to retire, but it's been paid. Like, this costs, I think it costs nearly £100 or something to run all of this. You know what I mean? And then our time, you know what I mean? But our time is free. I like doing this. I love doing this. I like telling the truth. So, listen, if you can buy us a coffee, please do. You know what I mean? It's just to get this, like, as I said, I'm unemployed now at the minute.
Paul, there's another thing we need to put up that I sent on to you as well. This is today in relation to the facial recognition. That's something important as well.
No. You sent that today, didn't you? Yeah. Okay. I have one or two videos. I think I've one or two more videos there to play. I want to play the git. I have to let the git see this now. I have to go with it. This is about Garen Noon as well. So that's
this was yesterday. A misleading image about the apparent decline of Dublin has spread among far-right groups, Brexiteers, supporters of Israel and Hindu nationalists over the past year. We were all wondering when they were going to bring Hindu nationalism into the debate. Anyway, here's the misleading image they're talking about. 2003. Dublin, one of the safest cities in the world. 2024. Dublin ranks among the top 10 most dangerous major cities in Europe. Here's the breakdown of the article for you. Big bad faraway far-right people are sharing this image. The first article is true, because the survey was carried out by one of our mainstream trusted sources. The second survey wasn't carried out by one of our mainstream trusted sources. Therefore, there's no real evidence to support the claim. Yesterday morning, on the same morning that the Journal posted that article, a woman posted this video. She was walking to work through O'Moore Street, and there was a migrant just casually looking at her having a wank. Now that's only going to satisfy a third world scumbag like this for a certain amount of time, and it won't be long then before that's not enough, and he'll be dragging women down alleyways. Anyway, Dublin's safe. Dangerous, dirty Dublin Lane remains open 7 months after closure ordered. Man jailed for predatory attempted rape of woman in toilets in Dublin City Bar. Mohammed. Random knife attack at Dublin Airport was a cry for help. Of course it was, sure it was a foreigner. 3 men hospitalised after being stabbed in attack in Stoneybatter area of Dublin. Taxi driver who sexually assaulted teen passenger in Dublin jailed for 2 years. Nigerian asylum seeker stabbed to death in Dublin was previously accused of rape in Italy. Man who attacked sex workers leaving one with life-threatening stab wounds is jailed. Man left Dublin building with child he didn't know under his arm. Man wanted in Zimbabwe for triple murder had been living in Ireland under fake name. His name was Peter Dube, and he was living in Dublin. Man in court accused of random face slashing attack on woman in Dublin. Sammy Shkiri. He was in the country only a few days. I'll stop here because I think you get the message. I could go on for hours. Remember back in the good old days when the media used to tell the truth. Organised violent crime is spiralling among the non-national population. But also remember, Dublin is safe. And there's no correlation whatsoever between crime and migrants.
You know, Faber, we've just hit 900. Fair play to you.
That's great.
Everyone tonight. Yeah. We hover around the 800-900,000. You know what I mean? And a fair play to everyone. Like, you know what I mean? Well done,
Yeah, and it's
everyone.
great to see the regulars on as well.
Yeah, well done, everyone. We've exceeded 900 viewers tonight. Fair play. I have to say, fair play to everyone. And like, share, subscribe. You know what I mean? We have the YouTube channels there as well. We've the YouTube channel. We've a YouTube channel going. I have the Rumble channel, and we've loads of stuff. We have, honestly, we have. And, you know, I put him up there. I shouldn't have. Gone coins, 6 or 7 witnesses treating the Brotherhood to the funds from Coolock. Said no, couldn't make it. Gone quiet. Why am I gone quiet? I'm still here. This is my show. I'm here. You're the gobshite that's trying to come in here to try and disrupt it, and you're talking bullshit. Bullshit. That's the video I received. Sorry, guys. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, did you send it to me? No, that's the one we received. Dublin now a predatory playground. Yes, it is. Another thing we need to do is expose Gript for the gatekeepers they are. Listen, Gript is, you know, did they just tell you what they want to tell you as well? You know what I mean? Tommy Robinson was right. Yeah. Tommy's getting persecuted over there as well now. You know what I mean? Keep the truth on to it. What are we, 47? Speaking of the vaccines, okay, I forgot to play this, okay, and yeah, it's Dr. Mike Eden. Dr. Mike Eden is the former head of Pfizer. So I'm going to play this and we'll come back and we'll have 10 minutes left to talk about it, okay? Let's go with this.
The purported vaccines against this alleged illness, COVID-19, were, in my view, deliberately designed intentionally to injure, kill, and reduce fertility. There is ample evidence that this assault, which is not the only thing that's ever happened, unfortunately, it's the first I noticed. I was a so-called normie until 2020. I believe everything I was told. But this is part of a long-planned assault by powerful, wealthy people operating above the level of nation. So I'm afraid organizations like the United Nations, the World Health Organization, the Bank for International Settlements, the World Economic Forum are populated by the people who I believe have orchestrated this attack on humanity, and they're going to do it again. There are factories all around the world busy manufacturing these so-called vaccines, and they're going to come up with contrived reasons why you need to roll your sleeve up. And I'm telling you, for the love of God, please don't do it. The only way we will push these people away is by speaking out as we see it and simply refusing to follow absurd instructions, no matter what ostensible reason they come up with for you to do that. So I mentioned I have been subject to astonishing censorship and smearing, and that's true. I've always said, if you hear me, please repeat what I have said to other people. I've got a tiny reach because I'm censored, and no one else is coming to save us. It's just a small number of us who are not willing to stay quiet while this is done to us. But it's part of a wider deception. The pandemic lie is a major one. I don't have time to go into it now, but see my other recording. But there wasn't a pandemic. There's never been a pandemic. They can't happen. It's a lie. The so-called human-induced climate change crisis, that's all a lie as well. It's the same people who put this together at the end of the 1960s, the Club of Rome. They chose these two topics of infectious disease and climate change to scare people because they realized it would force a response from above the level of nation. But I'm saying stand on your own feet and tell them to get lost with their absurd lies. And there's a third lie which underlies these. And it's they believe, they tell us, we've been told all our lives that the world is overpopulated. But I think that's what's driving them. They think there's too many of us little people, and they seek to control us digitally and then eventually inject us to death. It's only going to be stopped then by refusal to cooperate.
Yeah. Like this guy worked for Pfizer. He was the top man in Pfizer.
He was vice president or something like that. He was very high up. But we're not overly populated. We are densely populated. And there's where the thing is. But it's all nonsense. Sure, look, Bill Gates got up on a stage and up and down going on about how we needed to depopulate, and the way to depopulate was through vaccination. He has said it.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's just crazy, absolutely crazy. But I feel so sorry for Dr. Mike Eden, because he was absolutely crucified, you know, over him speaking out. He got an awful doing.
He did, yeah, of course he did. But I'm going to just see this now, because this is what you're talking about, Orla. Oh, shit, sorry. Facial recognition technology is only 19% accurate. Facial recognition, 19%, only 19% of the time, Oireachtas researchers have told TDs, writes Brian Mahan. Despite this, Justice Minister Jim O'Callaghan has confirmed he will bring forward legislation to enable the controversial technology to be used across on Garda Síochána. Efforts to fast-track the legislation were blocked under the latest government, under the last government by the Green Party, who sought greater safeguards around its use, citing concerns over racial profiling. Mr. O'Callaghan told the Dáil earlier this month, I was at Store Street Garda Station about 2.5 weeks ago, where 2 retired members of Garda Síochána were going through CCTV footage of the Dublin riots in November 23. We need to speed up the process of checking CCTV footage. Yeah, okay, that's it. So they're pushing it out, people. It's been pushed out.
And is this not part of something that's coming up for 2030?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, should we start going on to Duolingo and learning how to speak Chinese? Because we seem to be coming into a communist nation very soon.
Well, okay. I know we're talking about communist nations. Okay. I read this yesterday. Okay. Somebody sent it to me and I read it yesterday. Do you know in China, you only pay property tax once? Once.
Right.
And you also only pay car tax once. And you can go to a supermarket. You can go to a supermarket in China and spend 20 quid and come out with a bleeding trolley full of stuff. So I know it's a communist country and I know all of that, but at least them people, you know, they've money in their pocket. Like, they probably haven't got money in their pocket. They probably don't need money in their pocket.
Hold on. Only for this if they have their social credits. If they get marked down or anything like that, they are taken out of the likes of transport and, you know, places to go and all this. They're ostracized if their score credit is not up.
Yeah, I have Phil there again. He's a gobshite. Now I know what he's talking about. He said something about the Brotherhood. It wasn't me who sat and broke bread with the Brotherhood, with the Muslim Brotherhood, mate. You know that for a fact. And now I know who you are. I know exactly who you are, Squidgy, you gobshite, you arsehole. But yeah, I wasn't with the Muslim Brotherhood. That was Collie, that was Sean Crow. They were the ones that went to Belfast and met the Muslim Brotherhood, not me. So you can get rid of that one fairly quick, mate. Cheers, Paul and Orla. Bless all here. Yeah.
Thanks, Catherine.
I said we've about 4 minutes left.
But you know but you know what though, Paul? Like, things are really speeding up. Like, all these things that they're talking about for 2030 are really, you know, like, they're coming in and they're coming in fast.
Yeah.
And that facial recognition is not going to be for criminals. That's for the likes of us.
Of course it is. Right, it is. Yeah. You bet your arse it is.
Like, did you never see the videos over in China? Like, they're on every lamppost. Everything is watched. They are controlled to an inch of their life. They are controlled to be good citizens. That's what I mean about the social credit score. If they do not have a certain amount of credits, they are ostracized from certain parts of of their towns and communities. They're not allowed in certain areas. They're not allowed transport. They're not allowed go on holidays. They're not allowed to do this. They're not allowed to do that. Like, every inch of their life is completely controlled. And that's how we're going to end up unless people start standing up and waking up to what's going on.
Yeah. I have one there. I'm just gonna. We play it. No, we play it on. We'll play it on Thursday night.
What is it?
Just got to 9:30. It's the Camelot Hotel in England. I'm going to play it because it's only a minute and a half long. This is the guy in the Camelot Hotel in England who wouldn't give the hotel to them. Okay, watch this.
You refused a request from the Home Office to house migrants. What did they offer you and why did you turn it down?
Well, it was a considerable amount of money, Beverly. It was probably double what we would normally make on a good year, because they offered full occupancy on a rolling contract for a year.
So how does that work? Somebody literally just picks up the phone to you, or do they send you a letter?
They sent us a letter first.
Right.
And to be honest with you, I thought it was a joke. And
because of the amount of money they were offering?
Well, I just couldn't believe that the government wanted to put, illegal migrants up in four-poster beds at Camelot Castle. I mean, it was absolutely remarkable. It would have destroyed the village because one of the things they said is to lay off all the staff. And all but two, because they do meals on wheels. You clean the rooms once a week.
You're probably a big employer in the village.
Well, a major employer in the village and locally. And of course, those jobs in a village like Tintagel, they wouldn't be replaced.
No.
So, but also they would have stacked the place up with about 300 people, and you then have those people wandering around the village. I don't know whether they intended to contain them or whether they would be allowed out and about. I know in other areas, certainly hotels in Newquay have had some serious problems because there were a few hotels that did take the migrants there.
Presumably people who stay at your hotel then spend their money in the village.
Well, of course they do. They do spend their money there, and it would have destroyed the local economy. It's hard to say how many hundreds of thousands of pounds our guests spend in the village, but certainly a fair amount. But it's also the cultural degradation that goes along with this.
Yeah, that's...
I featured that video there a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, fair play to him, because again, he said, if I bring in iPass, I have to let go all my staff, and that is going to be detrimental to the local economy. And fair play to him for not being ruled by money.
It's true. It is true. We've done 950. We're up to 950 people. Fair play to you, bum. 950. Fair play to everyone now. I have to say thank you very much for listening in. And we're getting bigger and better every week. So take care, guys. Slán agus Banach. Yeah, best wishes, sheepdog. I've watched the video of a Westerner living in China said the total credit scores and the Western propaganda about China is insane. I don't know what to believe. Yeah, I know. Fair play to the man speaking out. We needed to dig deeper. Yes, we do. They need NWO all set in Russia. Okay, Tim Cudahy, you can't describe what's happening today with communism or fascism. Never before have we had the elite technocracy. Night, Orla and Paul and chat. Good night there. Fair play to you. The Brotherhood is back. Yeah. Shut up, you gobshite. Cheers, Paul and Orla and the chat.
Right, Dennis.
Yeah. Many thanks, Paul and Orla. Good night,
all. John.
Okay. We only have a couple of seconds left. Orla, I'm going to drop you down. I'll talk to you in a while. As I say, every night, the truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. You just let it loose and it will defend itself. Good night and God bless everyone. Take care.